Hello students, welcome to the session. In our previous session, we have started with this new chapter called Cell, the Unit of Life. And in the previous session, we have understood about the cell theory, the discovery of the cell and the later advancements in cell biology, the put forthing or you can say proposing of the cell theory by two scientists, right? Schwann, Theodor Schwann and another scientist, the Matthew Schleiden, and also Rudolf Virchow's theory called omnis cellula e cellula, modifying the cell theory and finally putting out two statements. So I have already told you the two statements of the cell theory are important for 2 marks. Now we will proceed with the further aspect of this chapter, Cell, the Unit of Life. Now in today's session, let us look at an overview of cell. An overview of cell. That means before we start the detailed study about the cell and various cell organelles, let us just look into the overview of the cell. That means here we have got different types of cells. It is not just one cell we are going to talk about. It can be the prokaryotic cell or it can be the eukaryotic cell. And again in the case of the eukaryotic cell, we have got the plant cell and the animal cell. And the characteristics also, they differ accordingly and these characteristics actually make these different cells to stand completely differently from each other. ಸೊ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಲ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸೆಲ್, isn't it? Now let us look into what all the characteristics or the general characteristics. What about the size? What about the shape of the cells? So we will look into the general aspects of this. Now the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Right? So organisms, they can be made up of only a single cell or it can be a multicellular organism. So when it is single celled organism, obviously the single cell will represent an entire organism. Example ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ last class ಅಲ್ಲಿ. You can take the example of amoeba, paramecium, or you can take the example of many prokaryotic bacteria, right? So single celled organisms. Or if you consider multicellular organisms with very complex body complexity, like you can consider the plants and animals, higher plants and animals, you can consider the fungi, right? You can consider other organisms also. So when we talk about all these organisms, what kinds of cells these bodies are composed of? Whether all the cells in all the parts of a complex body, if you take the example of a plant body, if you can see a coconut tree, whether all the cells in different parts are the same, whether they are different in leaf, in root, in stem, is it the same or different? Definitely it will be different. So how do the cells vary with respect to the size and shape? Let me tell you here, before we go for the size and shape, the basic differentiation of the cell can be done at the level of the type of the cell. That means basically we have got prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What is the meaning of prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell? Here I think we have already understood the meaning of prokaryotic and eukaryotic in the chapter of biological classification. Here pro stands for what? Pro stands for primitive, correct? No? Karyon stands for what? Nucleus. Prokaryotic means the cell which is consisting of a primitive type of nucleus. The cell that is consisting of a primitive type of nucleus is called as prokaryotic cell, and prokaryotic cells are present in the kingdom Monera. In the kingdom Monera. That means this is the kingdom that is represented only by bacteria. That means the bacterial cells are all prokaryotic cells. Okay, anyway we are going to learn about the characteristics of the prokaryotic cells in detail little later. And eukaryotic cells means here EU stands for true. And of course, carrion again stands for what? Nucleus, correct? No? Carrion stands for nucleus. That means eukaryotic cell is a cell which is consisting of true type of nucleus. Here, prokaryotic cell means a cell consisting of the primitive type of nucleus. Eukaryotic cell means it's a cell consisting of true nucleus. Right? What is the true nucleus? What is the primitive nucleus? What is the differentiation? Why is it called as the primitive nucleus? Why is it called as the true nucleus? ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ when we study in detail about the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. And for now, you just understand prokaryotic, eukaryotic cell is the two basic types of the cell. And of course, eukaryotic cells are contained by, like you can say, the four other kingdoms. Monera vanna bittu 4 kingdoms yavyadide? There are 5 kingdoms. You have learnt already. Correct, no? Which are the other 4 kingdoms apart from Monera? You will come across Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. All these kingdoms are made up of the organisms which are consisting of eukaryotic cells. So you can write here the Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. Correct, no? So here these are the organisms consisting of the eukaryotic cells, right? And when we say the types of the cells, and now we can talk about the size of the cells. A cell size will be varying from smallest of all the cells, or you can say smallest in size, and of course all the cells are microscopic. They cannot be visualized just by our naked eyes. We have to make use of the microscopes. Correct, no? But there are certain cells which can be very large also. Now, how the cell size varies? Let us look into that. Here, the smallest known cell is that of the mycoplasma cell. Mycoplasma. What is mycoplasma? Mycoplasma is a type of bacterium that is not consisting of the cell wall. ನೀವು biological classification ನಲ್ಲಿ kingdom Monera ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. The bacterial cells they have made up of the cell wall, right? And the cell wall composition ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? But there is one type of bacterium, one genus of bacterium which is not having a cell wall. The cell wall is absent in that case, and that is what is called as mycoplasma. Right? So this mycoplasma, which is also called as PPLO, it's also called as PPLO, which means Pleuropneumonia-like organisms. Pleuropneumonia-like organisms. I think you need to remember the full form of PPLO. Pleuropneumonia-like organism. These are the smallest known cells, and the size of these cells varies from 0.1 micrometer to 0.1 micron to 0.3 microns, or you can say micrometer, right? So that is the size of the smallest known cell. And the normal cell, it will vary from 0.1 to 0.3 millimeters. Okay, millimeters. That is the general size of the cell. But here we are talking about the smallest known cell. And which is the largest known cell? The largest known cell is egg of ostrich. You know the ostrich bird? Ushtra pakshi anta kariteve kannadadalli, right? The egg of ostrich, a single cell which is having up to 15 centimeter. The size of this cell will be 15 centimeter, and that is the largest known single cell until today, right? And when we talk about the shape of the cells, so the cells, they are variously shaped. So according to the part in which they are present in the body, according to the function that has to be carried out by the cell, so the cells will be having different shapes and different sizes. Now, when we talk about the shape, you know neuron, the cells in the brain, they will be having a structure like this. Highly branched structures like this. Somewhat structures like this, you know. So this is a neuron, which is one of the longest cells in the body. of especially human beings. This is the neuron cell. You know the bone cells, the cells in the bone, they will be consisting of a structure like this, somewhat star shaped structures like this, right? So like this structure will be there, they will be hollow here. And you know the cells in the case of plant body, like parenchyma cells, they can be oval shaped or sometimes they can be rectangular shaped, correct? No, the human cheek cell, it will be somewhat like this, right? It is one of the biggest cell present in the human body. And you know the cells of amoeba or amoeboid cells, they will not be having any particular shape, they will be somewhat irregular in shape, right? So the different types of cells, like you can consider the sclerenchyma cells present in the plant body. You have learnt about the anatomy chapter, you know the sclerenchyma cells. The cells present in the sclerenchyma tissue, they are elongated pointed edged cells. Like this, we find different types of cells in different types of tissues, and they have all got their own functions to carry out, right? So the size and shape of the cell we have understood now. Now, when we talk about the prokaryotic or eukaryotic cell, every cell will be consisting of a membrane, and that will be the plasma membrane, right? The cell wall may be present or may be absent. So in which the cell wall is present, in which the cell wall is absent, we will look at it later. Of course, the scientist called Theodor Schwann, a British zoologist, who actually proposed the cell theory along with Matthias Claden, has already proposed that the plant cells and animal cells differ with respect to the cell wall. Plant cell nalli cell wall idre, animal cell nalli cell wall irudilla, right? This difference we have already known. But what about the prokaryotic cell? What about the fungal cell? So all these cells we are going to study little later in this chapter. But the plasma membrane is definitely an outer covering in each and every type of the cell. And inside the cell, see, if this is a cell, inside the cell, inside the cavity of the cell anta helidre, I am drawing a 2D diagram here. But if you imagine, cell is a bubble like structure. It's a bubble like structure, okay, whatever shape it is. Now a living cell, if at all, if it is a living cell, of course the cells can be living or dead. This you have already learnt in the anatomy chapter. Sclerenchyma cells anna ನೀವು ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, they are the dead cells because they do not have cytoplasm. If at all a cell has to be in the living condition ಅಥವಾ living state ಅನ್ನ define ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, the living state of a cell is defined by the cytoplasm present in the cell. So it's a fluid matrix. It is a fluid matrix which is present in every living cell. And why this is called as the living state? It is because, see, we say cytoplasm is the main site or arena, main site or main arena of all the biochemical processes or all the chemical reactions taking place in the body of living organism. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೆಟಬಾಲಿಸಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಮೆಟಬಾಲಿಸಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸಮ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ವೇರ್ ಡೂ ದಿಸ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್? ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್. ವೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್, right? So because all these chemical reactions take place in the cytoplasm, and these chemical reactions are so important for keeping the organism in the living condition. So ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಗಳು ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಜೀವ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ can be defined only by the presence of what? Cytoplasm, which is a fluid matrix. And that is why we say it is the main site or main arena. Correct, no? And so this cytoplasm, it is present in all types of cells. And in this cytoplasm, so depending upon whether it is a prokaryotic cell or it is eukaryotic cell, whether it is a plant cell or it is an animal cell, different types of cell organelles will be present. What is a cell organelle? Cell organelle anta helidre enu? Namma body ide alva? We have body here and we have got so many organs, correct, no? nose, ear, eyes, hands, fingers. There are so many organs on our body. These are the parts of the body which are called as the organs. Similarly, the various organs present within the cell, they are called as organelles. So this is the simplest way of understanding what is an organelle. ಆರ್ಗನಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೆಲ್ ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಹಲವಾರು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, those different parts of cells present in the cytoplasm of the cell, they are called as what? Cell organelles, right? So these cell organelles, as I just mentioned, depending upon whether it is a prokaryotic cell or it is a eukaryotic cell, whether it is a plant cell or it is an animal cell. So depending upon these circumstances, different types of cell organelles are present in different types of cells. Like ಈಗ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ prokaryotic cells ನಲ್ಲಿ there are no membrane bound cell organelles. There are no membrane bound organelles. Membrane ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ organelles ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. But when we look at the eukaryotic cell, there are membrane bound cell organelles. Membrane ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ cell organelleಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, right? And there are some common cell organelles for both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. For example, ribosomes. Ribosome is one such cell organelle which is present in case of both prokaryotic cell and in the case of eukaryotic cell. However, the type of ribosome present in prokaryotic cell and in eukaryotic cell is different. But ribosome ಅಂತೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, right? And animal cell ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, animal cell I'm talking about, in the case of animal cell, apart from the ribosome is one cell organelle which is not having any membrane. That is why it is present in prokaryotic cell. But that non-membrane bound cell organelle called ribosome is also present in the plant cell and the animal cell, that is in the eukaryotic cell, right? But in the case of animal cell, there is one more type of non-membrane bound cell organelle, that is what is called as centriole. Of course, we are going to learn about all these things later in detail when we learn about the plant cell, animal cell in detail, right? So this is just an overview of the cell. Cell andre enu and what are we going to study in the cell annodakke this is just an introduction, right? So we have learnt about the size of the cell, we have learnt about the different shapes of the cell, right? Which can be like this elongated cell, or they can be star shaped cells, they can be oval or round shaped or rectangular cells or amoeboid cells, right? They can be elongated or pointed edged cells. So like this, they are variously shaped cells, there are variously sized cells here, right? And of course, the classification of the cell into prokaryotes and eukaryotes, we have understood about the cell organelles we just saw, right? And the different types of cell organelles. However, we are going to learn them in detail further, right? So this is about the overview of the cell. Now, we will start with the prokaryotic cell. We will start with the prokaryotic cell first. In detail, we are going to study about the prokaryotic cell, and then we can go for the eukaryotic cell.